Hello, I'm Maura Carley, founder and president of Healthcare Navigation, and today I want to talk about prior auth. And we may have touched on that before, but there was an article that made the front page of the Wall Street Journal at the end of March, which was pretty remarkable because it had almost nothing to say except to suggest that there would be improvement, that UnitedHealthcare was taking bold steps to scale back on the number of procedures requiring prior authorization. Now, the fact is that you do want scrutiny of very expensive procedures being ordered. But, it's a little bit of a stretch to think doctors are ordering PET scans willy-nilly because prior auth is generally associated with very expensive radiology exams, expensive infusions, and expensive drugs. And it creates quite an administrative burden on both insurers and providers, and for patients who often have to have procedures rescheduled. And so, honestly, I think this is an area where we could do so much better if there was just the will to do it. But it is a reality of our system today. But let me share some of the highlights of this article that was in the paper on March 30th. And it's entitled, Patients Get Break on Test Approvals. Starting in the third quarter, UnitedHealthcare, will remove many procedures and medical devices from its list of services requiring the sign-off. UnitedHealthcare processes about 13 million prior authorization requests a year out of a volume of about 600 million claims. And, honestly, that's really a dumb, misleading statistic. What you would want to know, since the vast majority of claims don't require prior authorization, is how many prior authorizations are required, what percentage are denied, and of that percentage, what percentage actually end up being approved anyway. And then you could drill down in a meaningful way. But this is not meaningful. They say, UnitedHealthcare apparently, that their objective is to do about 10 million prior auths, or a reduction of 3 million. But then we get over to the end of the article. The company didn't list specific services that will be affected, but suggested they could include certain types of medical equipment, such as orthopedic support devices. Again, that's not where the problem is. And some genetic tests used for diagnosis. You know what? I'm not an expert on genetic tests, but again, I think the focus there would be more on new developments. Testing that has existed, there is a body of evidence that is available already to indicate when patients appropriately have a certain expensive procedure. So once again, we don't have a fix to report, and I'm probably a little jealous of this kind of press that UnitedHealthcare can get for much ado about nothing. But anyway, as people who have to deal with these issues day in and day out, it's a real time waster throughout the system. So we'd all be better off if we knew, is it helpful? how helpful is it? And education could make it a process that is effective, limited and effective. So that's all my preaching for today. Thank you for listening, and take good care.